Wow, guys. Wow. I never thought I would see the day the Hockey Hall of Fame selection committee finally gets it right. Alexander Mogilny is now a Hockey Hall of Famer. Wow. I've been waiting for this for years. Mogilny's been eligible for, I forget how many years now. He's been eligible forever. Lots of hockey fans have said this has been an absolute crime against the sport. I thought Alexander Mogilny has been more than deserving of the honor to be enshrined into the Hockey Hall of Fame. He's been snubbed every single year for years and years. I don't really know why it took so long. I guess the knock on him would be he was just short of 500 goals and maybe no, I don't know, Hart Trophy. There is no clear criteria. It's been kind of a pain point for a lot of people for years to fully understand what constitutes a Hockey Hall of Famer. But today, the announcement comes through. Alexander Mogilny is finally enshrined into the Hockey Hall of Fame. I obviously liked Alexander Mogilny as a kid. He was a superstar of the 90s. Lots of people enjoyed watching him play, enjoyed using him in video games. As silly as that may sound, in all the NHL games as a kid, he was a great player. But he goes into the Hall of Fame, a star-studded class. I mean, this is quite a class. You have Zdeno Chara, Jumbo Joe Thornton, Duncan Keith, Alexander Mogilny, headlining the class. What amazing players, all of them in their own right. All of them with at least a Stanley Cup or more, aside from Jumbo Joe, unfortunately, never could get one. But star-studded class for the Hall of Fame. Glad to see Mogilny get in there. Like I said, liked him as a kid, and then I really liked him, obviously, when he was traded to the Devils in that 99-2000 season. A master move, as I talk about all the time, by Lou Lamoriello, who always had that finger on the pulse of the team, brings in Mogilny and plays a nice part in a good 2000 season and the playoffs, which saw the Devils capture their second Stanley Cup. The first one being in 1995, and happy 30th anniversary to all of you that remember that and were around for that. The New Jersey Devils captured the 1995 Stanley Cup, the first in franchise history, 30 years ago today. If you didn't catch it, I did a live last night with two-time Stanley Cup champion with the New Jersey Devils, Randy McKay. Had a great conversation with Randy last night. You could check that out on the channel. We talked a lot about the 95 Cup, his time with the Devils, as well as some other stuff. Always love catching up with the old guard. And today's the 30th anniversary, but on the 30th anniversary of the 95 Cup, 2000 Stanley Cup champion with the New Jersey Devils, Alexander Mogilny finally gets into the Hall of Fame. It's long overdue. Congratulations to Alex and his family. I'm sure he's been waiting for the call for this forever. Like I said, he's been eligible for, I think, like 15 years, something crazy. Every year he gets passed over. Lots of hockey fans have said that this is kind of a sham, if you will, and that he deserved to be in. Let's take a look at his stats. So he came into the league, and if you don't know, Alexander Mogilny's story is quite phenomenal. Leaving the Soviet Union at the time, I will put the link in the description. There was a really good documentary that kind of outlined how he left Russia to come to the States, and believe it or not, the political climate was even crazier then than it is today. And it was not an easy thing. There's a lot of, he thought he was being spied on. He thought he could potentially lose his life. A lot of crazy stuff back then involving the, Soviet Union and him leaving. I will find the documentary. Let me see what it was called. Let me put it in the chat right now. It's a phenomenal documentary. You got to check it out. And how he even got to the NHL to begin with. Defector. Yeah, it's called Defector. I'm going to drop that in the chat. Definitely check it out. Get an education as to how he even got here. But an impact player from the beginning. In 89-90, you see 65 games played, 15 goals, 28 assists for 43 points. Then his sophomore year followed it up with 62 games played, 30 goals, 34 assists, 64 points. 91-92 goes up again, 39 goals, 45 assists, 84 points. And then he really breaks out in 92-93. He has 76 goals. My God. 51 assists for 127 points. And you just look at some of his point totals in Buffalo, 79, and then in the strike-shortened season, over a point per game again, 47 points. Goes to the Canucks for 95, 96, has his second 50-goal season, rather, 55 and 52 for 107, 31 and 42, 73. You just see here, 45 points in 51 games, 45 points in 59. Nearly a point per game guy almost every season, and he finishes his career with 1,032 points in 990 career games. Over a point per game, and then obviously you see gets traded late in the 99-2000 season for the Devils, plays 12 regular season games, has 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 points. We'll look at his playoff numbers in a bit. He was a member of that 2000 Cup team, obviously. And then the following season, he had a monster year. That 2000-2001 season, which saw the Devils ultimately fall in Game 7 of the Cup Finals while attempting to be back-to-back Cup champs at the hands of the Avalanche after blowing a 3-2 series lead with the Cup in the building for Game 6 at home at the Meadowlands. It was completely insane. It's a shame. We really should have been back-to-back Cup champs. That 2001 New Jersey Devils team is definitely one of the best teams in Devils history to not win a Cup. And probably one of the best, overall teams on paper as well. It was a slightly more loaded version of the 2000 team that did win the Cup. And then after that season, he moved on to Toronto, where he played for 4 seasons. You see 57 points in 66 games in 01-02, 02-03, over a point a game again, 33 and 46 for 79 and 73 games, 03-04. 8 goals, 22 assists, 30 points. And then he makes his return stint with the Devils, 05-06. A 2-time Devil. Lou loved bringing guys back. Tons of guys that did 2 stints with the Devils. And there's a couple that even did 3. But in that 05-06 season, he had 34 games played, 12 goals, 13 assists, 25 points before he was ultimately sent to the Albany River Rats, which are some funny stories about that. But, wow, what a career. 2000 champ, Cup champ with the Devils. Just trying to see here some other stuff, but it's crazy that it took this long. It really is such a shame. I've talked about it, and I think I even did a video about it a year or 2 ago. An elusive member of the Triple Gold Club. How could I forget to mention that? A World Junior gold medal, a Stanley Cup, and was it an Olympic or a Worlds? Gold at the Worlds. Oh, and he won a gold. He did win a gold at the 88 Winter Olympics with the Soviet national team. Unbelievable. Triple gold member. The guy's won at every level. He's been a stud since he was a child, I'm sure. 6-time NHL All-Star. Unbelievable stuff. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. And then we look at the postseason. Postseason stats. There you have it. But, I will forever remember him for that 99-2000 run. In the 23 games, he had 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points. Not the most dominant performances. But then in the following season, he ratcheted it up a little bit in that game leading up to the Game 7 2001 Finals Cup loss. Ray Bourque, 16W. God. But 5 goals, 11 assists for 16 points. And then you see with Toronto, his playoff numbers as well. But the biggest goal, I would say, in Mogilny's tenure with the Devils came in that 2000 run. As many of you know, in the Eastern Conference Finals, the New Jersey Devils went up against the Philadelphia Flyers and faced a 3-1 series deficit. And then head coach Larry Robinson notoriously kind of ripped the team and kind of told them that they were blowing their opportunity, that they were a special group and blah, blah, blah. They should be playing much better. And the Devils found a way to win Game 5 in Philadelphia, cutting the deficit in the series to 3-2. And then they returned home for Game 6 and nursing a 1-0 lead very late in Game 6, hoping to tie the series up. Nursing a late lead, Mogilny adds a very important second goal. I'll get to that in a minute, but let's take...
They lost both of those at Boston and at the New York Rangers.
Niedermeyer off the face-off, carries to center.
Softly.
Reeling on the forecheck.
Relentless forecheck.
Lindros back on the ice. First
Goes again.
He took one on the bucket from Steve Kelly. In front, shot, score!
made it 2-0
Finally!
with 3.5 minutes.
And it's 2-0 New Jersey.
Lindros with added goal lead. Oh man, what a time! What a time!
Turnovers really hurt Philadelphia in Game 5, and has been a bit of a nemesis here in this game. Breland takes control of the puck after Desjardins looked like he had it. By this time now it's a scramble. Lindros, at the time that Desjardins had the puck, he's thinking, we've got controlled breakout from behind. And that one split second you look around, now it's Breland that has the puck right on the tip to Mogilny now. Mogilny's a finesse player, and he has missed in several situations. He doesn't miss here, as you see the reaction of Brian Boucher, a frustrated young camper.
And Brian Boucher was a frustrated young camper indeed, smashes his stick. Like I said, I believe it was Lindros would add a goal late to cut the lead to 2-1. And that Mogilny goal I just played ended up being the game winner. Ties the series up at 3 apiece before the Devils and Flyers headed back to Philadelphia for Game 7, which obviously the Devils won in dramatic fashion as well off of a Patrick Elias goal with like 2 minutes left to complete the epic comeback from down 3-1 in the series. They win 3 in a row, including 2 in Philadelphia. The decisive Game 7, Scott Stevens knocks out Lindros, takes the air out of the crowd. The Devils go on to win, like I said, in dramatic fashion. 2 minutes left, Patrick Elias. And the Devils go on to play the Stars in the Cup Finals and get the victory. Second Cup in franchise history. Alexander Mogilny, like I said, that might be his biggest play as a Devil. If he didn't score that goal, it would have been a tie game after Lindros scored later. And who knows, the Devils could have been out in 6 games. They could have lost the series 4-2 in Game 6, and that second Cup would have never happened. And that would have been 2 amazing Devils teams that failed to win a cup, if not for that play. And then let me just check something else here. But wow, long overdue. See what you guys are talking about. Glad Mogilny got in. Joseph says, should have happened years ago. It was a no-brainer to put him in. I completely agree. Completely insane. It took him, I don't even know what year of eligibility this was, but it's long overdue. So happy to see it. Always loved Mogilny even before a Devil, and that kind of cemented my love for him when he came here and won a cup with us. Sean Ace, what's going on? How are you handling this heat wave? It's hot, man. It is hot. God bless air conditioning. I don't know how human beings survived without it. Pretty sweltering summer now in New Jersey after all the rain. Brennan Place says Elias still got screwed. I think he eventually gets in, but wow. What a long wait. I mean, it hasn't been that long for him, but it could be, based on what it took Mogilny, it could take Patty quite some time. And then new guys become eligible and push some other guys out. But this is quite a class. I am a fan of this class. Chara, Thornton, Duncan, Keith, Mogilny. What legends. Sean, I did see they released the preseason schedule. I mean, listen, I'm not going to get too excited about it. I'll probably talk about it later a little bit. But Richard says, finally, absolutely. Finally got in. Tim, at last, Mogilny is now a Hall of Famer. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And Samuel says, Elias is long overdue. It hasn't been that long yet compared to what Mogilny had to wait. So, you never know. It could be a while, but wow. It's great to finally see it. I thought the day would never come after all these years. Paulie says, congrats to Alexander. Well-deserved, long overdue. Completely agree. Sean, last time USA hosted a World Cup, the Devils won the Cup the next year, and now USA is hosting it in 2026. And then he says 2027. I'm very excited for the Olympics, obviously, next year. Wait, there's not going to be a World Cup in 2026? Is it 2027? Because 2026 is an Olympic year, Sean. Confusing me a little bit. Pyro Gob, you want to know something? When the game in Prague happened, there was a big cheering for Yager and Palat. Elias barely got a mention of a cheer. That's interesting. Very interesting. James says, replaced Sikora on the top line in Game 6 after he got hurt. Made some great subtle plays when Arnott scored the Cup winner. Yeah, as many people know, Peter Sikora knocked out of that game with a cheap elbow by Hatcher. Lots of famous images of Patty on the ice wearing his jersey backwards, and Larry Robinson had it on for a while. It's very disappointing that Sikora wasn't able to raise the cup with his teammates on the ice that night, but he did, in fact, skate the cup solo years later at a 2000 reunion on the Prudential Center ice and got quite the ovation from the crowd, and much deserved. Sean, I want there to be more Devils games early in the afternoon so I could watch it during class. Making good usage of your class time. Mark says, I can't believe we had Mogilny. He was so fun to watch. Electric. Absolutely electric. Him and Scott Gomez combined for lots of goals, lots of pretty ones. I did an interview with Scott Gomez a while back. If you haven't seen that, check that out on the channel. He talks about Mogilny a lot and how fun it was to play with him, especially as a young guy coming into the league who grew up watching him as well. Yo Home says it's about time. Absolutely. Selected boy, thank goodness. Long overdue, man. Long overdue. James says his game time goal in Game 2 of the 2000 Cup Finals against Dallas was electric. Let me see something. That's a big one, too. They lost the game. But let me see something here. Yeah, this is a CBC broadcast. Bear with me 1 second. The technology is to pull up the videos. It's a new thing I haven't really done before. And I'm trying to, incorporate some new wrinkles in my offense for you guys. I know a lot of people do like the video capability when I could pull up a video. This is the CBC. I might have to go with it if I don't have. Yeah, I'll just rock with this one. It's going to take too long. I couldn't find it before. I tried to pull it up, actually. But we're going to take a look at the goal just referenced by James, his game-tying goal in that Cup final. Bear with me 1 second.
Sees the linesman crawling the icing off and moves away.
Devils down 1-0
away
in the
from
first.
Central, not completely.
What a relief. Pitch was not happy.
A wicked fast break by Mogilny and a high shot, 1-1.
Mogilny scored a lot of goals on chances that don't look like much on the way into the zone. Stevens fights off the forechecker. It still looks like a rush that's going nowhere. But a little crack in the defense, and Mogilny steps between Hatcher and Matvichuk right here.
Look at Scotty Gomez just fighting.
And when this guy gets in the clear, you're not going to catch him. And what a shot.
What a shot it was. High shot over the shoulder, the catching side of Belfort.
Wow, what a play by Gomer to make that happen. Phenomenal stuff. Select the boy. What's up, Devils folks and Ace? What's going on, Max? Who are the other inductees? Chara, Jumbo, Joe Thornton, Duncan Keith. Very good class. Sean, Ace, I still have soccer practices because it's above 90 degrees. Most of the time I have practices late at night. That's brutal. Over 100 in Florida. Yikes. Zach says I damn near died at work today. Jersey is scorching. Select the boy. Congrats to Alex Mogilny. Sean says, no, 2026 is next World Cup because it's every 4 years, and the last one was 2022. No, I think you're a little confused, Sean. 2026 is an Olympic year. So they're not going to have two things. They're only going to have one international thing every year. It's supposed to alternate. I think so. Every 2 years, I believe they said they're going to either have a World Cup or an Olympics. Frank, Devils, specifically Lamoriello, were definitely on the cutting edge when it came to getting Russian players to the NHL. For sure. For sure. I think the World Cup is going to happen in 2026 since the World happened in 2020. Oh, you're talking about soccer. I'm so confused. Okay, I get it. You're talking about soccer. You're making the tie between the soccer. I got it. I thought you were talking about Hockey World Cup. I was like, what are you guys talking about? Yeah, all right. That's this. How many players they induct each year in the Hall of Fame? Usually, I think it's 6 in the player category, and there's always 2 females, I believe, and then 2 in the builder category. So, let me see. The women were. Oh God, the way they make this super hard. Jennifer Botterill and Brianna Decker are the women. And then the builders category, former BU coach and a guy Pando played for and loved, Jack Parker, and former Canadian women's hockey coach, general manager, and coaching consultant Danielle Sovago. I don't know how to say that. But 4 male players, 2 female players, 2 in the builder category. Pretty good class. Zach says, bring back the old goal celebration. I would love to. He can't get royalties off the song, Sean. I talked about this. They should bring it back anyway. Rob says, Continental could get so loud, I miss it. So do I. Yeah, they're talking about soccer. I finally... Soccer, what's that? Only the world's biggest sport. But yeah, guys, Mogilny is finally in. Never thought I'd see the day. Much deserved honor. And wow, what a day. The 30th anniversary of our New Jersey Devils' first Stanley Cup championship. And Alexander Mogilny finally gets the call from the Hall of Fame. I might have to go to that and do some coverage. I also liked Jumbo Joe a good amount, and I respect Chara, but I did always like Thornton a lot. So that could be an interesting... I've been to an induction before for the great Martin Brodeur. Like I said, 30th anniversary of the 95 Cup. If you haven't seen it, check out the McKay interview. I just dropped the link in the chat for that. Check out that Defector documentary about Mogilny coming here. Some really cool stuff in there. And really awesome. I really have to think about that now. November. Do I want to make the trek to see Mogilny and these guys inducted? I might have to. Could be an interesting one. Could be a real interesting one. But wow, Mogilny, what a time. What a time to be a Devils fan, guys. The glory days. Yeah, I'll be back soon with a bunch of stuff, obviously, about the current Devils. But I've just been feasting on nostalgia these past couple days. Obviously, talking to Randy last night, talking about the 95 Cup. Today's the 30th anniversary. And wow, what a time. We just passed up the 25th anniversary of the 2000 Cup. And we're all hoping for the same thing, that the New Jersey Devils eventually could get back and win another one. It's been 22 long seasons since the last one in 2003. Who would have thunk it at the time? Certainly not I. I certainly would not have thought we would be waiting all this time later, hoping to finally see another one, but here we are. I will be doing some more free agent stuff and videos of that nature. It did come out today. Almo must be tickled with this news. I'd imagine so. He's waited long enough. Husky Unchained, Almo must be tickled with this news. I'm sure he's pretty happy. Long overdue. Was probably a little frustrating for him every year. But it came out today. The Devils were, in fact, interested in Jonathan Taves. A lot of people flamed me for it when I put out a video a few weeks ago. I thought he would have been a perfect piece. Turns out the Devils did try to get him. We probably were nowhere near the top of the list in terms of his interest, but somewhat encouraging to know that the Devils identified him as a guy that could be beneficial to the team. Obviously, he went to Winnipeg, as most people expected. But there's lots of stuff going on. Lots of news, rumors. It's all just in the summer winds right now, as we're about a week away from free agency beginning on July 1. We're a little bit before that. We will have the NHL draft. Devils don't have a first-round pick, so not nearly as exciting as it would be in some other seasons. But, guys, Mogilny is in. I am stoked. Wild stuff. Happy for Alex again. Congratulations to Alex. Congratulations to the selection committee for finally getting it right. This guy should have been a long time ago. It was a damn shame that they made him wait this long, but better late than never. Mogilny is officially in, and I'm pumped for him. I am pumped for him. But I'll be back soon, guys. I don't know when the next live I'm going to do. I'm working on a bunch of stuff. I'll probably have some more videos coming out soon. There's always something going on. I always got something in the works. Got a bunch of balls in the air, as they say, trying to make the magic happen. But yeah, thank you all for joining me on this impromptu live as Alex Mogilny is finally in. Crazy. But I'll be back soon. Free agent stuff, trade rumor stuff, whatever it is, I'll be back soon. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.